How are you? I hope you're good. And this for me is pretty exciting. I keep saying that because it is, and I like the fact that this will be the breakthrough for that people have been expecting. Okay, this will be that thing that you. This is what shifts you. All right, this is the shift that I've been waiting for. I'm happy and excited because I'm pushing you, and I mean, there's a certain level of understanding that once you get it, it just changes everything. All right. If I wanted somebody to never be broke again, this is what I would have the person do. This is what I would have the person go through. This is this Millionaire Mentorship program that I would want the person to access. Okay, and that makes me very, very happy. Makes me very, very excited, and I'm happy that we're doing this. We're doing this. I mean, like, we're committed to it. We're consistent. We're showing up every day. I mean, kudos to you. This has been amazing, and I'm glad that you are on it, and then you're doing it. Okay, so this makes me very, very happy. So you got the mail, and then you're here. Definitely. I mean, without the mail, you would not have gotten the link to see this explanatory video. So on the mail, I wanted to explain to you that making money is simple. All right, just making money is pretty simple. Number one, it is first of all, you must get value. You must create value. Make value, create value, or you must have an access of rights to a value. All right. So, and whether you create value or you get an access of right to a value, it's very important for you to know that as a human being who wakes up every day and thinks and does things, there are other value that you're able to have to the value that you have created or the value that you have access of rights to. Right. So, for example, if you're an engineer, you did not necessarily create engineering. Engineering is created by several people who pile it up for you, and then you have access. That's why you spend a certain number of years. That's why, for example, engineering may not be something that you just master within months. That's why the school breaks down into curriculums for you, so that you say, okay, access is so every day when you go to class and the lecturer teaches you, they are giving you access to rights of the engineering solutions value. All right, and that's why you pay school fees, because school say we are trying to make you an engineer. So the way we make you an engineer is that we give you access of right, so at the end of the day you can say, look, this person is now fit and has access of rights to provide engineering solutions that some body of knowledge have put together. That's why they give you the certificate. Then that's how you go into the world and say, I'm an engineer. That's why the company will employ you and say, fix our stuff. Or that's why an individual will pay you money and say, fix my stuff. Or that's why you also will be able to go into the world and create stuff and fix. All right. That's one. I mean, imagine that you are a musician and then you wanted to make music. Okay. So if you make Afrobeat, for example, Afrobeat to the world, I mean, I'm Nigerian and I'm pretty much very proud of Afrobeat. And I can tell you categorically that you may want to. There's a series on Netflix about Afrobeat, the backstory or something like that. It's a good watch. Not just because of the music, but because history is extremely important. My name used to be Ayola, and I remember when I changed my name to Olayola, and my siblings came and said, so you changed your name. By the way, I have 18 siblings, 18 siblings. So she was like, I should change your name. And he felt like, wow, that's really crazy. Why would you change your name? I didn't even change the name like that. It was Ayola, and then it became Olu Ayola. I mean, I just compounded it. And they said, you changed it. I was like, okay. Anyways, I told them, well, our grandfather's name was Ayola. That's how we all started being called Ayola as a surname. But his own father's name was Famojuro. So he changed. So if you have this big deal about this name, it wasn't always our name from the generations above. I mean, that was the end. They didn't know that. I knew that because I studied our own family history. So studying history is very, very, very important. It equips you. That's how you get understanding. All right. And you can see, I've not forgotten where I'm coming from. I'm talking about access of rights and creation of value. Okay, as the first thing as to getting money. All right, good. So don't think I forgot. I'm not forgetting. I'm just explaining to you that when lateral thinking means that, for example, and shout out to Gift, every time in my life I meet people who sometimes remind me of just how much God has deposited in me, and I'm grateful for that, because sometimes you can really forget, and that's why sometimes people just really see you. I say, wow, so gift sent me a message and says that something about I feel like your lateral thinking. Anyways, point is, so if you watch Afrobeat backstory, for example, it's a whole story about the Afrobeat music industry in Nigeria, how it started, how it grew, the key players, and then there was an interview with the key players, and then they discussed different things. Now, the point is, you can lift all of those information out, like you can lift everything there, and then bring it to another industry, and then bring it to another industry. You can see this particular key player in Afrobeat industry, and they say, okay, so who is the Davido, or who is the Olamide, or who is the Wizkid of banking industry? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, who started creating some kind of crazy beat in the bank industry? Okay, it won't be long before you start thinking about, oh wow, there was Shibomi Balogun, of FCMB, who mentored a host of other guys, and then there was some 3-year-old from GT Bank. Oh, okay, and then here comes the Zenith person. Oh, okay, and then you start to see, and then so that's lateral thinking. Anyway, so my point here is, take that for example. You will see that it is quite refreshing to have study of histories, because listen to me now, because understanding form the basis for the conviction for deep work, and there is no way to create value or have access to right to value without having hours of deep work. Deep work basically means a time when you are away from distraction. I am sure now that in the course of these sessions, this mentorship program, you have started to see how it's practically very, very important for you sometimes to disappear. Where, basically you really don't want to do social media. You just want to work. Even if you're on phone, you're researching, you're doing specific things. You're beginning to see why serial focus is such a magic. All right. Now, you're also beginning to see, I've explained to you yesterday, your expression table. You started to see how the money is in your expression table. You started to see that what is important for you, for your life, for your future, for your existence right now, for your desires is to fill your expression tables, is to count to 100. So you have seen that anything that is not counting to 100 now is beginning to feel to you as an unnecessary waste of time. Now you now realize that your activities, all the activities that you do outside counting of 100 is a waste of time if they are not helping you want to relax, helping you want to brainstorm, helping you to get other insight or perspective of approach, or maybe some entertainment or stuff like that. You have realized that if they are not helping you directly, they have to be helping you indirectly. So you don't want to do anything that does not help you directly or indirectly. In fact, you want to do more of the things that helps you directly. So if you need to make 100 tweets about a particular subject because you want to become an authority in that space, and you want people to be able to say, okay, so this guy has been talking about this thing, definitely this guy knows about this thing. All right, then that's what you want to be doing. Okay, that's what you want to spend your life doing. That's what you want to be doing. So that's why you will now understand why you should follow people who can inspire you to the kind of content, who can give you perspective, who can help you dig deeper into what you have already started digging. It's pretty much very, very simple. And that is why I am taking time to get you to understand this, because once you understand, the level at which you perform automatically changes. So you're getting the person to do better or do well. It's just an understanding. You want somebody to be more matured. It's just an understanding. You want somebody to behave differently. You just need to give that person an understanding. Of course, it's to give people understanding. If you don't give them information or knowledge like this, that's why we're doing this. All right. And then understanding, once you start to do something like I explained yesterday, the understanding comes. Now, so access of right to value and creation of value. That's the first place that this whole money thing starts. The second place is to exchange that value for money. All right. So buying a course, going through a skill, going through this mentorship program, learning a skill, going to school, creating, writing a book, writing a tweet, writing music, creating demo designs, and things like that. This is you creating your value. Now, exchange your value for money. Exchange your value for money. Now is next thing, which is where you get people to take your value and then give you money. And that is everything that comes, that this thing that I say, exchange your value for money. This thing that I've just said, exchange your value for money, starts at a point where you start to tell the whole world about yourself. That's the beginning. That is why your tweets are important, your LinkedIn posts are important, your blogs are important, your videos on this other subject are important. That is why investment should be made into you should make investment into tools and gadgets of how to portray yourself to the world. Okay, that's why you should be able to now invest in good phones, because you need phones that have good cameras so that you don't, so they can represent. So you want to put your best foot forward. So all those things, being out there in the world, personal branding, and then telling your stories, talking and getting people writing copies about what you sell, and then running ads, marketing. This is where you start. And this is the whole thing about it. This is you trying to exchange the value that you have access or right to, or the value that you have created to people, because you want people to buy it. Now, when people start to buy, your job is to now increase the number of people buying. So it's going to be access or right of value, or creation of value, and then exchange of that value for money, number 2. And then number 3 is expanding your capacity for the 2 above. Capacity into, okay, so you wrote a book, it took you a month. Okay, so now can you write the second book? Can you make it take you 2 weeks? Okay, can you now write one, make it take 1 week? Okay, now that you've sold a couple, you now have money. So maybe you can now employ people to write for you. Okay, you put your thoughts, you create a conference, maybe on Zoom, and then you discuss your thoughts, and then they flesh it up. I mean, there are several ways to do this. Point is, there's just 3 steps. 1, access of right or creation of value. 2, exchange of that value for money. 3, scaling up the number 1 and 2 processes. That's all. Because that is how to get rich quick. I keep saying it. This mentorship program is about you getting rich quick. I mean, you cannot afford, I can't afford you, and you cannot afford yourself to get rich slowly. I've explained to you properly yesterday that getting rich legitimately and getting rich slowly, they're not the same thing. Legitimately means that you're not cheating anybody. So even if you are going to legitimately make 2 naira, it's going to be that you created value and exchanged value. But 2 naira is small money. You're going to get rich extremely, excruciatingly slowly like that. So what you want to do is that if you are creating a value of 2 naira, what you want to do is that you want to make sure that that value gets to increase the number of people every day, every month. So if you can reach 1,000 people with 2 naira every month, that's just make 2,000 naira. But if you reach 1 million people every month on retainership, that's 2 million naira. If you increase the number of people, so if you make $1 every day and you reach 1 million people every month, that's $1 million. If you reach 10,000 people every day, that's every month, that's $10,000. So that's what you want to do. You want to say, okay, so I have a value. Now, what happens to 1 is what happens to 1 million. If one person is able to accept a particular value, then there are other people like that people. That means that you've created your customer avatar. You know exactly what your customer looks like. It is now for you to sit down and see how you can reach more people, increase the number of people. That's the whole idea of scaling and building. So to scale does not mean, let me tell you, you're not growing younger, so you're growing older, definitely. So what it means is that if you can carry 3 blocks of 3 cement blocks today, you can do it tomorrow, but after a while you find out that you can't carry 3 again. Maybe you can carry 2 because you're growing old. So your scaling up is not mean that you are going to become able to physically do more. Yes, you must be performing at your best. That is the whole essence of this program, because this program keeps pushing you. That's why you have expression tables. That's why you have things that you want to do. That's why you have things written down. That's why you account 100. Yes, because you must be performing at your best. But once you get to your best, the next thing for you to do is to use money to buy other people's time, outsource, and so that you can focus only on what you can do. And sometimes the only thing that you can do by yourself is idea. Your idea is the only thing that you cannot outsource. But even part of that you can outsource. Can people can say, okay, I have a company and then we want to make more money, so I'm recruiting people who want ideation. All right, and it's the idea to have ideation, complex seminars or programs or brainstorming sessions. It's still an idea that you still have to spearhead. So point is, you want to be performing at your best, but you want to scale up. And the way to scale up is to build system and processes and activities that allow you to reach increasing number of people with the same thing, with the same value that you reach 1 person for, or that you already reach 3 people or 5 people for. It's pretty much very, very simple like that. That is what you want to do. You do not want to be in a place where you are getting rich slowly. And to get rich quickly means you must quickly identify value, get access of right to the value, create value, and quickly start to sell, exchange the value for money. And then once you do that, the next thing you must rapidly do immediately is to scale up. Scaling up means building a system that can run efficiently so that you can reach increased number of people with the same value. This is how you go from $1 to $20 to $100 to $1,000 to $10,000 to $100,000, and this has to get to $1 million. That's my mark for you. This Millionaire Mentorship program is not in naira, it's not in rands, it's not in Ghana cities, it's in dollars. So the millionaire mark is in dollars, and so pretty much. Now the goal here is that you have to enjoy life. You have to enjoy life. And the way to enjoy it is to have deep understanding first, and then perpetuate them, and then scale up on them. Because look, let me tell you something. Even if if you've been having the impression that this is going to be a boring thing, it's not going to be boring. My life is not boring. If you sit in the same room with me, you won't believe. There's nothing boring about my experience. There's nothing boring about my thoughts. There's nothing boring about, even if it looks monotonous, even if it looks like, wow, you have to do that. Yes, you have to. Yeah, I have to do that because I have to also be rich. Do you understand? I have to be rich. So I have to do all of those things that I'm doing. I have to do that. So yeah, I have to do that. So being poor is tough. Being rich is tough. So pick your tough. All right. So that's the idea. But I know that if you are a musician, you're making music. At the point where you're making the music, it has not yet become money, but it can give you so much joy, so much enjoyment because you're creating it. You're drawing, you're making an art piece. You're not yet exchanging for money, but you can derive so much pleasure in doing that. And then when you now make money from it, they now give money, and you can still derive so much pleasure from exchanging the art for money. So I want you to go through life with this enjoyment mentality. All right, because let me tell you, I've been wanting to tell you, people say that happiness is something that you get with money. Money can buy a lot of things, but you see, deep happiness, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And it always starts with a decision that you're happy. You are not going to have everything. There's always, if you're not careful, you still feel like something is missing, no matter how much you have. People have millions of dollars, they committed suicide. And some people cannot say, are you kidding me? Like, he has money and he committed suicide. If you're not happy when you have $1, you may not be happy when you have $1 billion. It's just the way it is. You won't believe it, but people have to trust me. If you think that you're unhappy now because you don't have money, okay, so you're about to have money now. Better quickly get happiness too, because when you get the money, the happiness doesn't necessarily follow it. If you don't have it, it's not have it. And then it becomes more difficult to have real happiness when you have money because you now see the futility of things. All right. King Solomon was in the Bible was a man that actually did exist, there's clear history about his existence. So this is not a religious thing. Having had a lot of money, having had money, came back and said, look, all this thing is vanity. Because he realizes, he said that he has seen that there's nothing that's as important as a person working and enjoying it. Simple. They are saying that if God wants to bless you, that's all he has to do for you. To give you the capacity to create, the capacity to enjoy the process, capacity to enjoy what you're creating, and capacity to enjoy the proceeds of your creation. Simple. So if you don't imbibe it now, it's not going to come. And I want to tell you that, okay? So that's pretty much important. So the goal here is to enjoy life. Enjoy your work now. Enjoy the rest that your work will give you later. All right? Both should be enjoyed. I want you to go through life like that. All right? So, I want your task today. I want you to keep working on your expression table. I know you shared it with me. I hope you can share it as Google Docs. Google document. Google document basically means that you just share it with me via email, and that would be amazing. So if you don't know how to use Google Docs, make it a micro task. Quickly go to YouTube and research how to use Google Docs. It's pretty much very easy to use. That way you can share things written for me, and then as you populate it, you can mention me, and then you can see it. Okay. And I also be sharing a lot of things with you via Google Docs. All right, I'll be sharing a lot of things with you, videos. You can now begin to expect the split videos and free works based on your industry and choice vehicles. Okay, because we want to make sure that you are in shape. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the 100 for 100. It's amazing, pretty amazing. So today your task is to share your experience. Some of you shared it yesterday, but if you've not shared it, share it. If you've seen more with this, what you said with this, I want you to add to it and then share it. That's what I want to do. The expression table is where the magic happens. That's where you're counting up now. That's your clarity board. That's your vision board. That's everything. That's basically. So thank you so much. I remain Ayadamola Oluwayola, your millionaire mentor. I'm rooting for you, and I love you big, 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 big. See you tomorrow when we do the 100 for 100.